Right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cindy. I'm from Education Consultant from Northbridge office. Um, Today we have our every Wednesday live session. We have ECU, it's also called Edith Cowan University, and we have Daniel from International Account Manager from ECU to talk us about ECU campus and course availability. Hi, Daniel, are you with us?
I am, Cindy. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. We can see you.
Great to see you this afternoon. How are you, everyone? Nice to meet you. I'm Daniel from ECU, and I'm here today to present to you a little bit of information about ECU, just to give you a bit of an understanding of who we are, where we are, and what we're about. So, Cindy, would you like to ask me some questions first, or would you like me to share my screen?
You can share the screen, and anyone you have any question, you can pop into the chat box, and Daniel and I will answer them accordingly by end of the sessions.
Perfect. Okay. We'll see how we go. We tried to share the screen previously off air, but it didn't do too well. So we're going to try it again today. We'll see how we go. Okay, Cindy, can you see my screen at the moment?
Yeah. Oh, good.
Perfect. Wow, we had a win. Terrific. Okay, so yes, as mentioned, I'm Dan Sprague from Edith Cowan University, ECU. So I'm just going to give you a bit of an introduction today about ECU, and we're going to break for questions at the end there. Okay, so just first, I'd like to acknowledge, do an acknowledgement of country. So ECU acknowledges and respects the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people and the traditional custodians of the land upon which our campuses are located. I wanted to also give you a bit of information about Edith Cowan. So Edith Cowan, as you know, Edith Cowan University, but Edith Cowan is actually named after a former member of the Legislative Assembly of Western Australia. And I've got some notes here, so you have a bit of an understanding, a little bit of a history lesson to understand, I guess, the growth of ECU as a university and where it stems from, and obviously the founding person that it is named after. So Edith Cowan was born in 1861 in Western Australia. Okay. She believed that education was fundamental in tackling the social issues of the day, which we do believe in very much so, especially now as we know that education helps brighten our futures. In 1921, at the age of 60, she became the first woman elected to an Australian parliament. And she contributed significantly to the development of education, particularly in government schools, where she worked tirelessly to raise funds for students to attend universities in other states prior to a university actually existing in Western Australia, obtaining government support for her scheme. So really her work in this area was acknowledged by naming Western Australia's oldest education institution and the newest university after her, as well as her image being, and if you don't know this and you see an Australian $50 note, her image is actually on the Australian $50 note. So that is Edith Cowan and where Edith Cowan came from, the Edith Cowan University. In terms of rankings, I just wanted to give you viewers a bit of information about the rankings of ECU. So Times Higher Education rankings are quite critical, and a lot of people will go to those to understand where a university sits in this global scheme of education. So ECU is ranked as in the top 400 world university rankings, okay? And in terms of as a young university, so a university that's within 50 years of age, it's also ranked in the top 100. Some fast facts about ECU. Okay, so it's a very much a young, so I said to you, less than 50 years old, okay, young, vibrant, and modern university. It's a public university that was established back in 1991. There are 3 campuses in Western Australia. So there's Joondalup, Mount Lawley, and Bunbury. And we are on the eve of welcoming our newest campus, which will be the ECU City campus. So that is really taking us into the future. There are more than 31,000 undergraduate and postgraduate students. 6,000 of those are from overseas, from 100 different countries. And 8 teaching schools with over 250 different courses are available. And we do have intakes 3 times a year, but 3 times being one particular intake in November is only for specific school. But generally our main intakes are February and July. Further to those rankings, I just wanted to break them up with that slide of who we are, but further to our rankings, I don't know if you've had a chance, but one of the good things to do is read the Good Universities Guide, because that gives you quite a bit of information about universities and how they rank across different elements which differ from the Times Higher Education rankings. So ECU has been ranked as a top 5 or 5-star university for the last 17 years. And the Good Universities Guide in 2023 ranked it as a 5-star university in learner engagement, student support, teacher quality, and overall experience. So ECU is very proud of that, being ranked quite highly for a number of years. So consecutive years of 17 consecutive years in the Good Universities Guide. So just quickly looking at our study areas. Okay, as I mentioned to you, there are 8 different schools. So we have Arts and Humanities, the School of Business and Law, Engineering and Technology, Medical Health Sciences, Nursing and Midwifery. We have Computer Science, and we have WAPA, and we have Teacher Education. In terms of our popular programs, I just wanted to slide my paperwork across to that area, because I just have a list of courses for you that I wanted to go over. But some of the more popular courses are our engineering programs and our cybersecurity, information technology and computer science areas. But we also have environmental management, nursing, biomedical science, medical sciences, exercise sports science, teacher education advanced, media and communication design, psychology, commerce, hospitality, tourism, management, project management, information systems, marketing, and accounting. In terms of some of our leading courses, so I just sort of grabbed a snapshot of our top 10 leading courses, and with that include our Masters of Business Administration International, Masters of Engineering, Masters of Professional Accounting, Bachelor of Science Nursing, Masters of Management Information Systems, Masters of Cybersecurity, which are very one of the leading universities in, Masters of Public Health, Masters of Project Management, Bachelor of Hospitality and Tourism Management, and Masters of Computer Science. So that makes up some of our top 10 courses. We do have Masters by Research and PhD, and some of those requirements are on the screen. So for example, if you're looking at a Masters or a PhD, Masters by Research or a PhD, you need to obviously have substantial academic history, qualification, and information on students' work. You need to provide references from any publication and conference paper co-authored, and then a 300-word abstract and 2-page research proposal if you want to apply for any of those programs. The future. Well, that's a snapshot of our ECU City campus. It's located just off of Wellington Street and Yagan Square, which is just sitting in front of that building there. ECU City is going to be a centre point for many students who are looking to study in Perth, Western Australia. It's downtown in the central business district of Perth, and it will be a gateway between the Perth CBD area and then our lively nightclub and night district, which is called Northbridge, and it sits right between the two, and you can see that there. It's a fantastic looking building that's currently being constructed as we speak. It should be completed by 2025, so next year, with first classes starting in semester 1, so that'll be February 2026. For all of you out there today, I just wanted to just make mention of some of the scholarships that are available to you before I finish my presentation and we break for questions. So international students have some scholarships available to them, which are all located on our website. Okay, so some of the scholarships that are available are the 2024 International Undergraduate Scholarship. We have a 2024 International Masters Scholarships for select coursework programs. We also have the 2024 Australian Alumni International Scholarship. And then lastly there, we have the Executive Dean's 2024 Master of Engineering Scholarship. So those particular scholarships do have some requirements to them, but they roughly are around a 20% bursary scholarship on your tuition fees is what you'll be eligible for should you be able to make the requirements for the scholarship. And I believe, Cindy, that takes me to the end of my presentation this afternoon. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we're going to break for some Q&A questions, and hopefully we have some questions that I can answer for you today.
I thank you, Daniel, for sharing your information. We do have a couple of students' questions saying, I'm planning to do a civil construction and design. So do we have any courses available for that?
We do, yeah. So you can actually look to apply. Obviously, you'd look to do this through Aussizz. That'd be a fantastic place to start with your counselling services, and then look to do so the any of the engineering courses that we do, civil, structural, engineering, mechanical. We do even students are wanting to do Bachelor of or motorsports. We do a Bachelor of Technology Motorsports, which is leading on to an engineering course. So there's generally a common year that many students can then cross between the programs in engineering and look to then apply to continue their studies if they're coming from that technology background.
Sure. Also, you have mentioned about the very attractive international scholarship. How does students be able to apply that, and how do they know if they are eligible on this? Can you provide us more information on that?
Yeah, we do. So generally, there's on our website, if they actually go to ecu.edu.au, you can actually search international scholarships, and all of the scholarships will come up. In each of those scholarships, there is some provisions for applying for them, but all that information is then located under each specific scholarship. So yeah, students, if you're looking for a scholarship, go to our website. Again, that's ecu.edu.au, and then just search international scholarships.
Sure. So many students who does not know which scholarship you apply to, there is a requirement under each scholarship, and you can check on the website and see which one you could apply, and they will give you more information on that part.
We also have, as I mentioned to you before, Cindy, we also have the Alumni Scholarship. So that Alumni Scholarship is for any students, potentially any students that might be in Australia that are currently studying. And I know Aussizz has a huge network of offices throughout the world, but also in Australia. So one of the things that you would be eligible for is our alumni scholarship. Even if you're not an alumni of ECU, what we're referring to is an alumni of Australian education. So if you're studying in Australia anywhere and you're looking for potentially moving to ECU to continue your studies, then you quite likely are going to be eligible for that scholarship.
That's very awesome news for all the students who already study in Australia. Also, you have mentioned about all the wide range of courses, engineering, IT. Does ECU provide internship for international students?
Yeah, so that's work integrated learning is built into our program. So we call that WIL, work integrated learning, which is kind of like an internship. So for the students that don't know what an internship is, it's generally working in an environment where you're with an employer of some sort. You're not being paid, okay, but you are actually going through the practical elements of what that job would do. So what we actually do at ECU is we build work integrated learning into all of the programs within the university degrees. They have to have some element of WIL. So that's kind of the moving way, I guess, moving forward in education now, is we're seeing a lot more universities develop work integrated learning or internship component programs into their degrees, and we have done so at ECU.
Oh, awesome. For any like international student hasn't really studied anything in Australia yet, could you just tell us about what is the ECU orientation program for international students? And how does ECU help the international student transition to university life?
Yeah, so there's obviously we're talking about students that potentially coming to Perth for the first time. So if we actually take a couple steps back, generally what ECU does is we'll do some pre-departure briefings for students prior to them leaving their home country. Now, what that entails is sort of all of the smaller details that students need to know about what it's like to live, to move themselves around, to for example, get a bus timetable or a train timetable, or being able to get to class or where campus is located. So that all sort of falls into the pre-departure briefing sessions that we do for our students. It also gives them some cultural background, so they get to understand some of the culture that exists in Australia, which would be differing from their home country. And then once they arrive, then part of the orientation program will be to run them through their timetables, to spend, and that's obviously once they've arrived here, run them through their timetables, allow them to meet their lecturers, allow them to understand where their classrooms are, get a bit of a bit better understanding of what's expected of them during their classes and how their class structures will occur.
Yeah.
And then obviously they have the support of their coordinators and their lecturers, and the campus support team here once they arrive. So any questions that students might have, they've got someone to go to actually ask those questions and get responses to.
So of course, there's ongoing support to provide international student with the.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, there has to be. To be honest, in education is lifelong learning, and what we're trying to do is to try to help and support and educate our students all the way through their learning journey.
Awesome, awesome. Throughout their courses, their study, what if before the admission they think they did not meet the course requirement, let's say maybe engineering or IT, they did not meet the course requirements. Is there any pathway that ECU partner with?
That's right. Yes, we do. We have Edith Cowan College. So students that don't maybe meet the direct entry into the university, don't fear. There is the opportunity for you to come to ECU through our college partner, which is Edith Cowan College. So yes, that's very much so. And they have a slightly, the structure of ECC or Edith Cowan College is a slightly smaller class sizes, probably the entry requirements just a little bit under what the university entry requirement would be, which just allows students to bridge up to university. And it gives them a bit more, it gives them the environment of being on campus, and they're really an ECC and ECC student because they're destined for that pathway to the university, but they're just getting a little bit more support at the commencement of their studies while they arrive in Australia.
Sure. Yeah, just give them a brief understanding, and they can experience on university life as well. And after they finish that, they can lead to their main course in ECU. I think that's
Yes.
pretty much my our sessions. If anyone have any questions, you don't know which courses you are fulfill or you're not sure about which scholarship, you can feel free to reach out to us. And thank you, Daniel, for taking the time to talk us about the ECU.
Oh, thanks, Cindy. It's great to have a chance to speak to your viewers. I really appreciate the time. Yeah, definitely. What I would be saying to any of your viewers is, if you have any questions about ECU, please reach out to the team at Aussizz. They'll do their best to provide that information to you as promptly